I've heard it over and over that brands don't want to be quote unquote political. In 2025, what does that even really mean? And do you think it's possible?
Yeah, I don't know, Michael. This is one of the things I struggle with. It used to be, when we thought about brands, we didn't spend a lot of time thinking about what the politics were for most brands. Now, there are exceptions, and we can talk about those too. For the most part, whether we were making cereal, making cars, whatever we were doing, we went about that. And our job as brand stewards was really
Mm-hmm.
help to build the image of the brand in people's minds. This is a fun car. This is a wonderful cereal to have in the morning. This is a fantastic, restaurant to go and dine at. And we didn't spend a lot of time thinking about what the politics were associated with each of those brands. We enjoyed the brands for themselves. And as somebody who was a CMO and somebody who works with a lot of CMOs, the job there was to help to create a positioning in people's minds, which convinced people why this was the best choice for the goal that they were hiring the brand to do.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're in this world in which it's pretty hard to avoid politics. It used to be a short time ago that it was au courant to put your pronouns on your email signature.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, if you were not putting pronouns on your email signature, people were like, well, isn't he with it? And all of a sudden, now we're in a world where pronouns have become political. If you've got pronouns in your email, you are making a statement. And certainly, if you're one of those brands that expects to do business with the government, forget about it. It's just not going to
Yeah.
happen. So I think it's much more easy to unintentionally sort of tread into these waters, which are around dangerous waters for a brand by looking like they're political, even if there was no intention to do so. So it could be about hiring practices, it could be about things like pronouns, it could be
Mm-hmm.
about which actors you choose to be your spokespeople. All those suddenly become fraught with political
Yeah.
challenges and an opportunity for somebody to say, well, why are you using that person? Why are you saying those things and so forth? And so I think that brands need to work a lot harder to be apolitical. I think they also run the risk of doing some things which are completely unintended, but somebody picks up on them and then it becomes this. Now, this could work both ways. So I live in Chicago. Past weekend, if you went down Rush Street, there is a Tesla dealership, and there were people outside protesting Tesla because you've got leader of Tesla who is viewed as allied with the current administration and is making actions as a result of his affiliation with Doge. And
Mm-hmm.
that has some backlash for that brand. And you read stories about how brands are now suddenly, or people who own Teslas are suddenly thinking about turning back their Teslas, ending their leases early, et cetera, et cetera. A car which, oh, I don't know, a couple of years ago, people viewed as this was a leading edge, innovative vehicle led by
Yep.
somebody who was a leading edge thinker, now suddenly has become contaminated with what that same individual is doing in a government affiliated position leading this Doge effort. So this is
Oh yeah, I could not agree with you more, and I'm glad that you kind of added that this is like in every direction. It's not even like agreeing with the powers that be and everything's going to be fine for you. Everybody's threading this needle, and I feel like being quote unquote apolitical might be even more difficult than threading the needle for what works for your brand.